We are in Laura Cove, which is part of Desolation Sound, and we had anchored over there in Prito Haven, and it's a completely different vibe.
Join us on the Elli-Yacht as we realize our 5-year plan with the kids. Grown up, moved out, graduated from college. We take the dog, sold everything, and kitted out the boat so we can cruise the Pacific Northwest, all while living and working in the heart of Seattle.
Yesterday, there were all the local boats coming in just for the day, where everyone just plays. They have a rope swing, people are jumping off of the rocks, paddleboarding, kayaking.
And a very protected spot. So we had some pretty good winds out of the northwest. It was super protected in here. It was wonderful. So it's just been a great spot.
Laura Cove, they've got all the anchor rings and they're marked with yellow markers so you know exactly, so you can kind of see them, because before I guess they just had a chain hanging down and it's kind of hard to spot. So they have upgraded things a little bit.
Yeah, but it's great. Nice and deep. When I say deep, not as deep as some of Desolation Sound. It's in the 30s and 40 feet. In fact, I think I set the hook at like 27 feet. Granted, it was low tide, but that's nice. We have 150 feet of chain road before we hit our 8 plate, and we have another 275 of that. But it's nice not having to throw out additional road.
Now it was time to take the paddleboard out and explore Laura Cove. Want to go on the paddleboard? Like a couple of minutes to get there. Come on. I know, there's a lot of obstacles. For the most part, Leroy doesn't mind going on the paddleboard. He is a boater dog after all, but mainly he just likes free smells and going to shore and getting a chance to do his business. It was time to pull up anchor in Laura Cove as we were getting ready to head over to Squirrel Cove. We are approaching Squirrel Cove, which is in the background. We're going to have the store, fuel dock, all the things there. We're getting ready to anchor, and then we'll go check it out. But we'll kind of show you the approach going in. So we are approaching. It is low tide, but it's only about 3 feet, so it's not that bad. We have our friends who have been here before, so they're going to show us the way and the best place to anchor. Apparently in the summertime it can get really super busy with all the boats anchoring, but this summer has not been that busy, partly I think because the weather that hasn't been the best, fuel prices, COVID, I don't know, it hasn't been that busy. I will show you as we get a little bit closer what it looks like. There were several boats that were out anchored, but there was plenty of space to drop the hook, and we found a nice protected area from the wind. I'm gonna do my first stern tie in Canada.
Sweet. How's that gonna go?
How's it gonna go?
Yep.
Okay, well, we've got our spool all rigged up. We've got 600 feet, which we probably don't need that much. And John's handy dandy little orange bungees. What do you call those?
I don't know. They're just
They come in handy for everything.
yeah. We'll put a link down below. We got them from Fisheries, but they're great. Tie power cables with them, all kinds of stuff, and they came in really handy here because we can put our spool in the rear staple and just let it spool out.
Yeah. And then our neighbor's already tied to this tree, so we're gonna take our line and cross to another tree so that if the wind shifts, we're both gonna be fairly protected.
All right. Enough talking. Get after it.
All right. Can you let me go?
Oh, yep. There you go.
Thank you.
I'm sure we're gonna get shade. You should have a life jacket, but
I see you tied a little wrist
yes.
thing.
Looking good here. I want to thank Tom and Dion for the 600 feet of floating yellow line. That way we didn't have to go buy some.
There are at least 3 ways to do a stern tie. One is wrap it around a cleat on the boat, wrap it around the tree on shore, come back and tie it to the opposite cleat. Then when you're done, you can just release the one cleat and hopefully reel all that line back in. The problem with that is it can snag, and the other thing is it can grind on the line and it can grind on the tree, which is not good. Second way is to take a spare piece of rope, loop it around a tree, and then tie the line that you have from your boat around that and bring it back to the boat. Then when you release it from the cleat, then hopefully you can just bring it back. It still poses a risk of snagging on rocks and oysters. The way I did it is I looped it around the tree, brought it back down, tied a bowline knot, and then that way when I come back I can just untie the knot and release it from the tree. Now I probably should have made a little bit longer loop towards the shore so that I didn't have to climb back up again, but when I came back it was high tide, so it wasn't as difficult as when I tied it on the tree the first time. The other thing is you do want to make sure that you have good climbing shoes. We found some good native shoes. I will put a link down below. It'll protect your feet from the rocks and the oysters, as well as they are water friendly. The last thing is you want to make sure you don't come in too hot on a paddleboard, because I did actually pop a little bit of hole, not on this trip, but on a different one, where I came in and it sprung a leak, so we had to repair that. If you are in a kayak, you don't have to worry about that. And make sure you always bring a life vest. I forgot to bring it on this trip. It wasn't that bad. Everyone can do it. You can be a mountain goat, just like me. We're all stern tied in a nice protective cove. And this area, there's hardly any wind. I can feel it coming from my back, and there's wind over there that are blowing all the boats, and there's no wind back here. It's perfect.
Right, where are we off to?
The grocery store, and cross our fingers, hopefully they'll take our garbage for a fee. Cash only. Maybe Venmo. No, PayPal.
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 All right. Off we go.
Off we go.
I swear to God, we found the only patch of sun up here in Desolation right now.
I know. It's been kind of cloudy and rainy. So next week's supposed to be sunny, and guess what? We're headed back to the United States next week. So, but we'll be back. The store dock is in the water. We tied the dinghy up to the dock, and it was a very low tide today. Then we walked down the dock and over to the grocery store, which wasn't that far away. And we were actually able to drop off our garbage. We got lucky. They did have a freezer section, and they also had a walk-in cooler, so we thought we would go check it out and see what we could find.
Double smoked.
This reminds me of, it smells like my grandmother's cellar.
Yeah. And it's about as warm.
So, we got here.
Cheese. Cheese selection. I got the double smoked because I like that. They have some double ingredient.
I have a little bit left.
Yeah, the camisola. You know you guys like camisola all the way up here.
I know. I love camisola. It's my favorite cheese.
Where was that one?
Okay.
Okay. Hot dogs.
Yeah, the pepperoni. They have your honey garlic pepperoni.
Really?
Original.
What's happening? Sure you don't eat schnitzels or something?
Schnitzels.
Yeah, schnitzels it is.
places. Looking for, they have lemons. Right here. A whole bag of lemons. I got the last one. We're gonna clean them out. The stairs at low tide at Squirrel Cove are a little bit tricky because it is so steep. You have to hang on to that rail. Otherwise, it's a little sketch. It's even more fun coming down with 2 hands full of groceries. So we have the rapids back here behind me, and you don't want to get caught in a low tide and have to do the walk of shame with your paddleboard. The lagoon is supposed to be beautiful, and we're going to check it out later, but low tide, that's a little rough. We'll see how this goes. We're going to check it out tonight at 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
that's when it's high tide.
The high tide's at 10, but it's an 18-footer, and so we're gonna give it a go at like 7, which will be 16, 14 feet. This is insane. It's a 16-foot tide swing. Things set up, looking good in the neighborhood.
Got the best spot in the house.
Yes, we do. You know where we're going, Leroy? Going through the rapids.
Going through the rapids.
You don't have significant tide swings where you're from. This is a mind-blowing experience, right? So that trickle was coming through. This is now, with not even the full 16-foot swing, this is a, gosh, I think right now it's about 14 feet.
Yeah, you got rocks over here.
Yeah.
Rocks over there. You're in the middle of the channel, as far as I can tell.
Tell me if I need to shut up and use your right, please.
Think you're good. All right, a little bit more this way. There's rocks here. All right. The tide exchange had not really taken place, so we knew we were going to be there for a little bit, so it took about another half hour before we could get through.
We're gonna do a swing around the bay.
High tide.
Bailing out. I'm waiting. That's a reasonable wait.
Do you want me on the bow?
Yeah, sure.
Go that way. I think front and center. I think you're good. Give it all you got. Yep. Hit something. What's that?
Definitely got a piece of the prop.
Did we really?
Yeah, go check it out. Wait.
Is that as fast as you can go? There's a rock there. There's a rock there. Go this way. All right, straight down the channel. I think you're good. This way a little bit. Yeah, this way a little bit. 3 or 4 feet, you're good. Looks good. This way a little bit. This way a little bit. All right, you're clear. Made it.
Yeah, well, a little more patience would be better.
It's golden hour and you look amazing.
Sweet to me. We're gonna cut out all the part where I smashed the prop.
It's a real deal.
It was a washout. The one thing that'll solve the problem for sure is waiting.
Time.